All right, I'm here pre-draft with my man Ryan Nembhard out of Gonzaga. I appreciate you taking the time. First of all, I know you got a little bit of a busy schedule right now.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Just going workout to workout. So appreciate you having me.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely curious to hear, obviously, where you've been and stuff like that. I think it'd be cool for the people to understand kind of how the NBA draft process works, except for especially for someone who, I mean, you're not going pick one or two, so you're working out for basically everybody that wants you to work out with. I want you to take me through how hectic it's been, where you've been from, like you were at elite camp also and the combine. So take me through all that.
Yeah, bro, it's been like a little bit of a journey right now. I did a league camp. Obviously, I was there for that week. And then I stayed another week for the NBA camp. So that was like 2 weeks out there in Chicago, just chilling and doing all that. And then I went back to LA, did a pro day out there. And then I've kind of been on the road since then. Been going kind of all across the country. I've done like 7 workouts at this point. I probably got like 10, 11 more. So
It's crazy.
it's been a grind for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing more than half the league at that point.
Yeah.
That's wild. But that's kind of like what he gets when, I guess, the prospects that aren't going to the top, like everyone, you're going to work out for everybody that wants to. You never know trades also and stuff like that. So you haven't been home. You mentioned we were before we hopped on here, right? You've basically just been on the road.
Yeah, been on the road. I probably won't go home until like the 23rd, a couple of days before the draft. So
Yeah.
definitely a lot of traveling right now.
Yeah, man, it's wild. I don't envy that part of you, but like we said before, it's all blessings. It's all good stuff.
Absolutely.
Has any workout been has stood out to you or no?
Um, they've all been kind of similar. A lot of them are pretty similar. Some do a little bit more conditioning.
Mm.
Some do a little bit more shooting, but they're all pretty similar format. And you kind of get in a little bit of a groove. So it's been a blessing, definitely, to go to all these cities and be a part of this process.
Yeah, for sure. Have you been to Washington yet or no?
I have been to Washington. Yeah.
Did they do that crazy fitness test though or no?
Nah, they don't. They don't. I don't think so.
They did. I don't know if you know about it. They did some. I forget what it was called. Some crazy fitness test that like Dyson Daniels and like one other dude have passed in like 20 years.
Yeah, we didn't do that. Thank God.
I know. It's like almost pointless at that point if nobody's gonna do it. But I think it's just to wear you down and stuff like that, which is interesting. I'll get the brother talk out of the way. Like, I got to ask you about that. Big bro, Andrew Nembhard playing in the finals tonight. It's good timing as we're recording this. Obviously, you're excited for him. You're proud. Have you talked to him a ton today?
I haven't talked to him today. Probably will talk to him later tonight after the game. But yeah, super proud. It's just been a lot of fun to watch. These past 2 years and playing in the playoffs, a lot higher stake games, and I think that's what he's meant for and built for. So Pacers been going crazy lately, and it's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be a Pacers fan, right? You throw any Toronto fandom or anything out of the way from Canada.
Oh, for sure. I'm straight Pacers right now until
I
until.
love that. I think it's awesome. I don't know, you might not know much about me and my presence, but I'm a big Nemhard family supporter, not on a weird level at all, but I've been a big fan of yours and Andrews for sure for a long time. When he was back, even at Florida,
Yeah.
before he got his chance at the league. But I think it's awesome seeing not just him, but like even Aaron Nesmith and guys like that get their chance to shine when most people still consider them as just role players, but they're kind of showing what they can do on the finals level, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they're just great guys for a team. They understand their role, they understand how to affect the game, and they understand how to impact the game in a winning way. And a lot of times in the playoffs, you need your role players and role guys to do big things in order to make runs and win a bunch of games. So those guys have been playing well, and yeah, just super fun to watch.
For sure, and that brings me to you because I feel like you're kind of you're going to probably have to translate into a similar role like that. In terms of you and Andrew growing up, I know I mean, I can only imagine how many fights and arguments, driveway battles y'all have been through. I've seen the interviews, seen you talk about it. Are there any aspects of the game specifically that you take from him? Because you guys are different players. You're both one guards, playmakers, hardworking, smart, poised, and calm and stuff. But he's bigger, and you guys have a little bit of different styles.
Yeah, I think there's a lot I take, a lot of I just get from watching and seeing what he's doing. But I like some of his shot creating, especially late clock, just his ability to get a shot and get some separation to make some of those tough mid range shots. But as well as just what he does on the defensive side of the ball, he's kind of been his niche in the league, just getting under guys and making tough on guys and bothering guys and being super physical. So that's something I've definitely watched a lot recently, and definitely want to pick his brain a little bit more about for sure.
Yeah, he's been. I mean, he looks like Drew Holiday out there for real. But I've seen you at the combine doing a couple things. You made a couple huge defensive plays that
Yeah,
caught some eyes, so I can notice you doing that a
that's it.
lot more. Are there any other guards in the league? early players, but mostly guards, I guess, that you take after a lot. Not necessarily like I'm this guy player comp, but you look at guys even like Brunson and Maxey
Yeah.
are smaller also, but they're like stardom. Even guys like Emmanuel Quickly, Peyton Pritchard, Marcus Sasser, Deuce McBride, guys that are smaller and got drafted later, like you might because of that, but they're
Yes.
underrated, and it was so easy to see that they were going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of guys like defensively. I kind of look at like TJ McConnell, Jose Alvarado, just the way they get under guys and make it tough for them to put the ball on the deck. And then offensively, I really like guys like Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, CP, the way he kind of operates in ball screens. So yeah, a lot of those smaller guys that just understand the game at a high level and understand how to impact it in whatever way. So I can take a lot from those guys. And then also I watch a lot of my brothers, so just naturally.
Yeah, right. Whether you wanted to or not, just you're gonna watch him play. I love that. A big thing I feel like for both y'all, but I'll focus on you here. Your poise. I mean, I'm not glazing at all, but you've been one of the best playmakers that college has seen in the last decade, 20 years. I think you led the country in assists this year. You had an unbelievable assist to turnover ratio. You averaged almost a double-double, I think, this year, which is actually kind of wild.
Yeah.
Single season WCC assist record. But it seems like you're always playing with this crazy poise, right? I understand you're super smart, you're experienced, you know how to break down the game, but you're super poised. And you mentioned Andrew also, like in late game situations, you've done that time and time again, to me at least. What do you do? I guess off the court, I want to know also, because on the court, people can go through their things of just like being used to it. But off the court, whether it's before the game or just in your personal life, do you do anything specific to try to keep that demeanor, or is that just who you are?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of kind of just who we are. Just growing up, my dad was a coach, had us always around the game. Always played in competitive environments growing up, so we're always just ready for those moments, and we like being in those moments. So I think that's one, and then I think just like not trying to get too high or too low. You know, there's good game. Basketball is just a game of runs, and the game's a game of things sometimes not going your way. So trying to stay even keel, and understand that if you get too high or too low, it probably won't be the best thing for you. So it's kind of a natural thing we kind of have.
For sure. You don't do any like yoga or nothing like that, meditation?
I'm not feeling the yoga, man.
Hey man, hey, it could be anything. I do therapy. My dog feels like therapy to me sometimes. So anything like that,
For sure.
I feel that. One thing that I think most people don't know, obviously you went to Montverde and it's basically like this NBA factory at this point. Is crazy. With I guess it's probably like 20, 30 deep now, and it's gonna keep rolling. I think people talk about Cade and them. They don't realize that you are them, right? Like you are part of that team because all you were a junior that year, so a lot of those guys go to the league. First question is basically, is that the best high school team of all time?
Yeah, I think it's definitely not best high school team of all time. I might be a little biased, but just our depth and the guys we had and how big we were and what they've been able to do on the pro level is just has been crazy. So I think that's a credit to KB and just how competitive our practices were every day. We had like 5-on-5 in practice that are probably more competitive than the games we played in. So that team was a joy to be a part of for sure.
For sure. And going through your years at Montverde, playing with a lot of those guys, pros throughout your entire high school career, and then even in college, right, at Creighton, and then also at Gonzaga, you're playing with all these guys that are professional basketball players, they're NBA level dudes all over the place. What have you taken playing with so many different kinds of guys, especially being the guy with the ball in your hands a lot?
Yeah, I've definitely taken that. I just have to build relationships with these guys, especially being a point guard and figuring out where guys want the ball, figuring out what gets guys going and how you need to talk to them in order for the team and you guys to have a good relationship. So um, I've also been able to just watch a lot of these guys and
Right.
see what they do on a day-to-day basis and see how they operate around the gym, around people, and get a better gauge on life and things you need to do to be successful. So I think it's been a great to be around so many talented guys, and I think that only helps you for moments like
For sure, yeah.
amazing.
I want to get into a little bit of film with you real quick. Nothing, we're not gonna do nothing crazy, but I think it's good to look at the things you do well, obviously, because the things you might need to improve on, whatever, but the things you do well are gonna be why you get drafted in the first place, right? So, huge thing for you, I think, is like ball or manipulating defenders, right? IQ, awareness, and basically just using your eyes to kind of put it down court and manipulate defenders. Oh, that's loud. So all right, this one I think it might be a couple years ago or this year against Arizona State. I don't know if you remember this one at all.
Yeah, I do for sure.
Yeah, I'll let it play first. because I want people to see it real fast. Just whipping the ball down to MJ. I think that
Yeah.
is down in the post. So, like I said, I know you use your eyes a lot, especially
Yeah.
when you're in transition because it's a big thing you do. Here, you're in the half court, ball's kind of stopped. You're in the late game. You're probably looking to use shot clock a little bit also until you see the vision. I see your eyes. I think that's Braden, right? Where you kind of swing to the right here.
Mhm.
I know you use your eyes as a decoy a lot, but do you use it more, especially situations like this, as hey, I see this defender kind of in the middle. I'm gonna pull him out towards Braden so I can open up this seam to whip this pass across? Or are you saying, you know what? I'm gonna see what he does and see what he hedges on, and maybe I will give it to Braden over the top if he does stay.
Yeah, it's honestly, yeah, it's kind of just a read at that point. I'm kind of exactly. I see that guy kind of inching over in the middle. They're a little bit worried about B Huff. He's killing them all game, so they're
Yeah.
definitely probably going to come with that double. So I'm just looking over at him, seeing if I can get that guy to bite a little bit, and then I see that opening to get to Mike. So
Yeah.
that's definitely what I'm thinking.
At what point in the clip, I guess, do you the second he takes a step over, are you being like, oh yeah, he's coming over, I see that? Or did it take time for I mean, because you whip it you whip it so damn quick. Like you knew for way too long, it felt like.
Yeah, I knew as soon as he took that little gallop step, it was
Yeah,
over
right there.
there.
Yeah. And I mean, I will say something that Chris Paul, you talked about CP3 before, something that he talks about a lot, and a lot of, I mean, people that watch or casual fans don't understand putting the ball for shooters on the right seams or putting the ball at guys' chests and stuff like that. Like MJ is going to have to go up and bounce a little bit. I mean, you place it right at his mitts where he needs it because he needs to get on the knees. It's perfect for a step. Are those things that you work on and like you just developed over time, or that's something that just like it just comes natural?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to give the ball to guys in situations where they don't have to do too much to get their shot off. If I'm giving it to a shooter on the three, I want it to be in his pocket where he could just get it off quickly instead of having to move to go catch it, bring it down, and
Right.
shoot it. So definitely ball placement is a big part of what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I feel like that's a huge thing. And when you get to the NBA as a one guard, obviously, it's those are the little things. I feel like, right, like the little things that you hone in on, and I feel like Coach Few has done so well with everybody in your guys' program and on your team that you're able to develop better and like because intelligence is your biggest thing. Your brain is probably your biggest asset. You'd agree?
Absolutely, 100%. I feel like I have one of the best minds in this draft for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'll pull up another one real quick. This one's kind of nasty. It's a little dirty, a little mean to the defender. I don't know if you remember this one in Santa Clara.
Yeah, I mean, roll it a little bit. I'm pretty sure I know it for
I
sure.
got you. If it loads, it'll go. Here we go. I'll let it go once, and then we'll come back to
Yeah, I got it.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you put the brakes on them.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll bring it back real quick. So you get a lot of ball screens, obviously. It felt like at first, at least, right? You gave him a little break test, maybe, because you see him checking his shoulder. He knows the screen's coming. This is later in the game, so he's playing you tight because he's trying to fight over screens. Because if they go under, you what shot like over 40% from three, you're gonna nail him every time. But you didn't know you were hitting the lane, I don't think, until he went right. Because when you go, it feels like a brake test, like you're on the highway and you're someone's tailgating your ass, and you just kind of give him a little brake test or something like that.
Exactly. Exactly. I seen that there was like a space. He wasn't really pressed up into me. So I was like, all right, let me set this up, see if he's going to try and fight over quick and bite and try and beat me there. So I gave him a little setup right there. And then I knew I had him on the replay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you sent him to the next realm, the next stratosphere over there. That's why I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
At what point I mean, you know where your shooters are. You guys are a team that hones on the pick and roll. A lot of pro looks with shooters and spacing. Dusty's on one. I think it is Nolan on the right.
Mhm.
Um, at what point do you know they're going to converge? Is this a thing that you scouted them on, or is this a thing that you just kind of feel in the game as in the flow? Because you get downhill and I know you love an elbow jumper, especially from the left. You shot at like 45-50% from that left elbow in there in the midi. But
Yes.
at what point are you saying, great, these guys are all converging, I'm going to hit Nolan because this thing comes out here fast?
Yeah, exactly. Right there, I see that low man coming. I know that the other guy's gonna have to go down because he's worried about that corner or that cut. So I'm like, I kind of got them at whatever. I can do whatever I want with these guys at this point. So
Yeah, no, exactly. And I mean, usually I've seen you hit this lob so many times in dunker spot, like so many times. And that's what you guys do well with spacing and stuff. And this is a crazy pass too, jumping in the air. Like you
yeah,
talk about the Pacers, that's some Halliburton pass right there,
yeah, I
right
got
to
my
the midst.
fix. Stick's gonna knock it down. All I gotta do is put it right there.
He better be knocking those down. I got one more for you. I don't know. It's a one from the old days, the Creighton days.
Yeah.
I'll do
Yeah.
it real quick. So people talk about your quote unquote downside, I'll say, because I don't know if that's fair, as hold on, as it being size, athleticism on the NBA level. Do you
Mhm.
think that is an overthought concern for you?
Yeah, I think people are way more concerned about it than I am. I think obviously I'm undersized for sure, but I've played basketball my entire life at this high level versus high level dudes, and I don't feel like my height's ever been a problem. I feel like I just have the will and the understanding to realize that I need to impact the game in a certain way, and whatever way I could impact the game, whether that's playing defense, getting under guys, or just being one of the smarter dudes on the team offensively. I think that is honestly one of my advantages. So I think people are going to be worried about that, but that's nothing I've been too worried about.
Yeah, you can let people on social media say that, but I think the scouts understand. It's good hearing you. Like you're like I said, you're bringing in IQ or your biggest strengths, and you saying you watch TJ McConnell, Jose Alvarado, guys like that, because you know, like we mentioned, the other small guards, Emmanuel Quickly, Peyton Pritchard, Marcus Sasser, Deuce McBride, all those guys do the same thing where they're smaller and they get knocked for that, so they get drafted later, and then all of a sudden people are like, these guys can actually play and they can defend and they can do those things because it's much more than just your physical ability. And I feel like that gets overlooked a lot in the draft world, a ton.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you remember this one against Arkansas Maui?
I do for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, yeah, this is probably one of the biggest up ones.
Yeah,
I guess this is what, 2023 or two?
yeah, 22, 23.
That's, yeah. I mean, oh, so it's 2022 in November, right? Exactly. I'll let it roll for a second. Actually, I'll pause it when you get the ball up top. Because Anthony Black's on you. I know you know Anthony at this point, but Anthony Black is, I mean, he went lottery that year. I think he went like 6 to the Magic. He is huge. He's versatile. He's got good burst. He good defender. He's switchable everywhere. So it's not an easy matchup for you at all, right? When you see these guys, I mean, I know you see the space here, but at what point are you being like, I'm gonna try to bring him out, and because he knows you want to go right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm kind of just like baiting them sleepy. We kind of had a set there, kind of messed up, and I'm like, all right, let me see what I got here. Probably gonna call for a ball screen, but I kind of see him standing
Yeah.
out of his stance, and I'm like, all right, I got this little lane to go left right here.
Yeah, I don't even know if you're calling Kalk off or you give him a little wave. I think you're calling him off, no?
Yeah, I know I waved. I can't even tell you. I probably did call him off.
Which is something. And like it's late in the game. This is like crunch time, crunch time. We talked about like every play I've shown here, I think has been in late game situation. But I guess once he puts that left foot up to
Mhm.
plant, you see that and you're quick as hell. And that's a
Yeah,
huge part of your game also, right?
exactly. And I got this guy in the corner right here is not even like looking. He's just
I think it's
walking
Devo,
away.
yeah.
Yeah, he's walking away. They're all kind of like spread out. I'm like, all right, I got him right here.
Yeah, I mean, even if he's not, even if he is looking, I mean, Baylor better hit that 10
Exactly.
times out of 10 in the corner.
Exactly.
I'll let it play for your satisfaction.
Hey.
Hey, maybe a sound on one time too,
Yeah.
because I think you bounced though. You hit the rim hard.
That's what he-
Still lots of time. Nembhard. Whoa!
Hey, go get him up, get him up,
Get the crowd going, man. Come
get
on.
him up. Yeah, you guys had good crowds, both schools and stuff like that.
That's great.
Something interesting. You played at Creighton and Gonzaga. Creighton was more of like an offensive, flowing type of school or
Yes.
type of team, at least. You got a lot of pro guys on that team, big time, because Kalk's going to go with the draft you this year. And then Gonzaga, another coach who like understands pro basketball to a T. He's been coaching for USA for years at this point. But what's the difference, and what did you learn at both of those schools to kind of give you a better experience in game IQ?
Yeah, I thought they were both great stops for me. I learned a lot at both places. Coming in at Creighton, I was kind of young, but they put the ball in my hands right away and let me make mistakes and play through them. Kind of played like a 4-out style with Cockburner in there, and I threw like a lot of lob passes over there. I would say this is like the biggest difference. I threw a lot of lob passes, mainly all air passes to Cockburner there, and then I got to Gonzaga and we had like Braden Huff and G, who are more like under the rim. They're super,
Yeah.
super skilled. You give it to them, they can get a bucket whenever. But I felt like I had to learn how to manipulate defenses a lot more and understand how to use my eyes and get guys the ball in positions where they could just go up and finish. So I thought both spots were crucial in my ability to read the game and my development of the game.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, and especially NBA bigs, most of them are going to be athletic, but you might play with Zach Edey where he's not as bouncy and he kind of plays. He plays a little overall, so he's huge. But you also play with dudes who are freak athletes, right? Where you can just launch the ball up, like kind of like Carpenter a little bit because he's so tall,
Exactly.
and just make it so easy on the NBA. But because you do it on the college level with, I'm not slandering Braden, Graham, nobody,
Mhm.
but because they're not as athletic or bouncy, it just kind of makes you adjust, like you said. You're an all-ball player. You were at 20% usage, I think, or something like that, a little over. The ball was in your hands all the time. You're the one guard for your team, especially this year at Gonzaga, where you
Mhm.
guys didn't go super deep, especially at the guard spot. So a lot was on you as an offensive engine. When you go to the NBA, you're not going to be a superstar on day one, obviously. Like even Jalen Brunson, who becomes the small guard superstar, it takes years to get there, right? So what are you looking to do off ball more in the NBA? Because not necessarily saying that you didn't have a chance to showcase that as much
Mhm.
because you shot the ball well, but it's obviously you're on the ball a lot in college. It's just natural.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's a lot of people's concern with me a little bit too, just being on the ball so much. But I think I'm just smart enough of a player to understand how to impact the game off the ball, whether that's cutting. I think I could be really good at go catching and attacking closeouts, as well as just catch and shoot shots. I haven't been off the ball a lot, but I feel like I'm really good off the ball. I feel like I can catch and shoot well, go catch, get downhill, get in the paint, make plays for others, make plays for myself. So although people may think that's a weakness, I personally think that would be a strength of mine and be somewhere where I could thrive and do good things for my team and myself.
Yeah, and especially if we talk about those guys coming off the bench, like Pritchard, sixth man of the year this year, obviously, it's just those are easily translatable roles. And if you're playing next to guys like Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, if you're playing on the T-ball with next to Anthony Edwards and guys that are elite 2 and 3 guards and wings and stuff like that, like putting you in a lineup makes a lot of sense because teams win without point guards leading the way. Like the Bucks, when they won with Drew Holiday as their one, like he was the second, maybe or third best player on the team probably that year. So I see that vision a lot. You shot the ball a ton better this year. I think you shot 40%, where every other year, last 3 years before that, you were 33, 35, 34, or something like that. Is there anything you changed shooting the ball going into your senior year?
Yeah, honestly, we changed some stuff going into my junior year. So we made some tweaks in terms of getting my elbow above my eye. We wanted that to be a stable because we feel like when I get my arc in the ball, it goes in a lot. So I started non-con that year and I shot like 15% that year non-con. But then once we got into conference, I shot like 45 that year and 40 for my senior year. So I feel like halfway through my junior year, I kind of figured it out and I feel like I can shoot the ball at a pretty high rate. But consistent work is the biggest thing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I see you when guys go under screens, you punish them. The corners, you're unbelievable this year. And I think a big part of your game is in the mid range. Like you've always been a good mid range scorer. Your floater has been huge. And we talk about the small guards. People see scoring at the rim as an issue, but when you're not 6'5" plus, it's not easy to score at the rim no matter what. And I
Mhm.
pulled Jalen Brunson and stuff. Like obviously he's so good playing off 2 feet, which I see you do all the time, and that is a testament to your intelligence playing the game and stuff. But these little zones inside the paint, in the high paint, that's where you're off 2 feet. I feel like, and you're finding those floaters and stuff like that. Are you, when you're snaking screens, when you're getting downhill, are you specifically looking for certain zones on the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. I look a lot for like we call them second box shots. So kind of in that paint area, where you don't have to go down where those trees are. They're gonna go take that off the glass and go the other way. And it's like a turnover. So definitely that mid range and that second box areas are spots I feel like are money spots for me. I could get there and get a comfortable shot off, use my shoulder, create some space, um, and get super easy shots off that I feel really comfortable making. So I feel like that's the money spot for me. I know teams don't necessarily love mid range all the time, but I feel like it's coming back in the playoffs, especially when you need to get off shots when the defense is really taking
Yeah.
away that three.
Yeah, no, for sure. And if you can get it, you can get it. You can get a bucket, you can get a bucket, especially when guys are going to chase you over screens. Like you're going to have to get downhill. I see you use hostage dribbles a lot and use pumps and stuff like that and whip your passes to opposite corners and whatnot. Playmaking out of the paint is tougher. Obviously, like you said, the trees are down there. They're on you. But is that something that you have, like you've noticed really develop in your game a lot over the years?
Like playmaking in the paint.
Yeah, yeah, and playing out of it, or whether it's scoring or not, whatever you're doing. But I feel like you've been living in the paint more. You've been doing a lot better job getting downhill and not turning the ball over too.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think getting in the paint just breaks down defenses. Even in like the G League combine, the combine, like the coaches were just talking about paint touches all the time. So like I think paint touches are vital in the league, and there's so much space that they create just long closeouts, disadvantage situations for the defense. So I think that is huge and something I want to continue to be good at and get better at.
For sure. Going to the NBA, is there anything pace, physicality wise, anything other than what we talked about that you're planning on adjusting a little bit because you know it's more the NBA style?
Yeah, first I want to get stronger. Honestly, I want to gain some weight, and I feel like that's possible. Gain some weight, just get stronger, keep being ready for the physicality of the league. And as I go through it, and as I get in training camp or whatever it may be, I feel like I'll know a little bit more to answer that question. But right now, it's physicality mainly, guarding, showing people I could guard, and making people believe that I could hold up physically in the league.
For sure. I love that. We'll do one fun thing before you go. I'm a big fun guy. If you've seen, I don't know, my video, we like to have a little fun.
Seen your videos.
Yeah, all right. Big thing right now, the Canadian wave of hoopers right now, especially in the finals. I guess there's your brother, SGA, Lou, I guess are the 3 Canadian guys right now that are playing. I want you to give me a Canadian hooper starting 5 of current guys that are in the league or whatever.
Canadian hooper starting 5. Yeah.
Put you on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going Andrew, Shea, Andrew, Shea.
There's a lot of guards too.
There's a lot of guards. It's like mainly guards for real. So
it's tough. Like Jamal, RJ, Wiggs is there. There's a lot of Dylan Brooks, Matherin. There's a lot of dudes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Wiggs because we went to the same high school as him in Canada.
He really is a lot of guards. I'm really looking at now.
I'm gonna go BC, Brandon Clark.
Okay.
Like the 4 or 5, you got a little float game, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little small. I'm gonna put BC at the 5, and I'm gonna go Dylan at the 4.
Dylan Brooks. I mean, he can play up as much as he wants. So, hey, you bring a Linux, Zach Edey, Jamal Murray too. You bring him off the bench. That's all good.
Those guys come off the bench, we'll be good.
Yeah, that speaks volume to the Canadian Hoopers. It really is a lot of guards too. I guess I'll ask you too, is there anything that's going on in Canada that was, I guess, in the last decade when y'all were younger growing up that you guys all knew each other? Is there like a bond between everybody or something going on in the development?
Yeah, I think Toronto's just super like close guys. You know, everyone plays against each other growing up. Everybody's around each other. So you just see everybody working and getting to that next level. And as well as the Raptors were really good when we were younger or becoming better. So I think everyone's just falling in love with basketball in Canada, and it's continuing to grow.
It's awesome. Yeah, maybe you'll end up on the Raptors. Who knows? Who knows?
Never know.
Hey man, I appreciate you taking the time. I got Zags on for you. I'm hoping the best for you. I love what you and your brother and your family are up to and stuff like that. I wish you the best. I appreciate you taking time today.
My man, thank you. I appreciate you having me, bro.
Gotcha. No doubt.